How to install VLC Media Player on Linux. That's gonna be today in Linux app. Hello, my name is Blair and welcome to another Linux app. For beginners, this is a little bit like a tutorial to install the VLC multimedia player on your Linux. We will learn how to install, but I'm using the easiest for beginners, a Linux distro called Big Linux. It is based on the KDE Plasma. Well, I have to move this one first so that you will recognize it is like Windows, okay? So there you have it. Now it is looking like a Windows, right? We have the start menu button right here. We have the quick launch. We also have the notification area. And of course, in this area, our time and date. And of course, this is the background, which is our desktop background. We could change this one just like in Windows. Just right click on that one and then look for the configuration of your wallpaper and desktop. And you have the options in your selection. As you can see, we have all the wallpaper desktop images that you wanted to. I think it's about 200 plus or 300 plus, so good luck to that one. So this is the easiest Linux distro that I have, and this is basically for beginners. And I also use this to educate my students because they thought all the while Linux is very hard. Well, if you will ask me which is the hardest, well, I could say that Windows is the hardest because you need to know that there is some tutorials on how to use Windows, even though it is very popular. But in Linux, it's only for the popular Linux that is a little bit like hard, but they advertise it as easiest. I will not say which one, but it is true. Well, in my case, I've been using this Big Linux for a couple of months, I think a year already, because I was like hopping from one distro to another. I was like distro hopping actually. But one of my main OS is the Big Linux. That is why I discovered this one as one of the best for the newcomer. Not only for the newcomer, but also for the old timers that wanted to have a smooth sailing in their Linux. Big Linux is based in Manjaro and Arch, so it is not hard, okay? This is user friendly. So as you can see, their website biglinux.com.br. So I've been using the latest, which is the Ryzen 7 AMD with 5700U with, of course, with Radeon graphics. The GPU I have is the Radeon graphics. This is Aspire A7, 15 inches. So anyway, let's go to our big store. Where is our big store? Now let's go to our download right here. So you can do it by browsing the apps on the Finder, which is our search bar right here. So let's just type in VLC Player or VLC. As you can see, I already download it and then have this new version, which is the 3.0.18-16. So we have the VLC, which is the 3.0.18-16. So let's try to install this one. In Ubuntu, it's a little bit hard. You have also the option to go to the App Center, but They are also recommending to type into the terminal, but in big Linux based on Manjaro and Arch, it is much easier. Just click on this one. No need to go to a terminal. So let's click install. As you can see, the version right here. And of course, don't forget to enter your super secret password. Your password is allowing to install the application, but if you forgot to put the password, you're actually prone to viruses. That is why Windows bypassed the password or the security, which is probably it isn't best recommended. So that is why we have this security and reliability. That is why I'm using Linux compared to Windows, even though it is very popular, but it crashes a lot. Yes, I could tell because I'm also a Windows user before. I was having some Solaris in the way back in 80s, 90s, and eventually turned to Windows 95. Yeah, Windows 95. I tried Windows 3.1. It was very hard, especially 3.1. The 3.1 was very hard because you need to type in a lot of commands in the terminal. So we have also the screenshot right here. Maybe I could like click this one, yeah, to let you see. So it's basically the same, but the version is a little bit like higher. So let's try to check this one out. Let's play. Yes. Ooh. So it has a black outline, and at the same time it is not like the other one, which is you have to change the settings right here. So it is much better. Yeah, I like it. So let's try to see if I have some videos right here. So okay, let's open our Dolphin. Let's look for some videos. Let me see. I have some videos right here, and let me see. Let's play this one. Search. What's the similarity of the internet and the library? That's gonna be on our Linux app today. Hello, my name is Blair, your science teacher. Today's episode, the similarity of the internet and the library. Okay, let's post that one. So, the best thing for VLC is because it has capacity to save your files, convert at the same time, stream, playback, rendering. Of course, if you want to render your files, you could. The speed at the same time, you have the fastest, normal, slower, and slowest. You can jump. And of course, you have the audio like the track 1, track 2, track 3, blah blah blah. And of course, you also have the device, if what kind of audio do you want, if it is gonna be on your Bluetooth, your USB audio device, or your onboard controller. It is also in stereo, left, right, mono, and reverse stereo. Visualization at the same time, but I rather disable it because I'm playing it as a video. And for the video, we have the track 1, track 2 if you have some multi-track videos on your MP4 or your any of your files. At the same time, you have the zoom capacity, the aspect ratio, which is, I prefer the 16:9, which is the widescreen. You can also crop it if you want to. And the best is you have the screenshot. Let's try to have the screenshot. Alright, there you have it. Even the file of your where it is located. So let's go to that particular. As you can see, this is the screenshot. Yeah. So kind of cool, right? So you have the screenshot capacity. That's the power of Linux, kids. Okay. So that is the VLC Multimedia Player. Kind of cool. Let's go to the website first, okay? I'll use what? Okay, I'll just use the Google. So all of you, which I know always use the Google, but of course I have the unstable, which is the developer, okay? This is the dev version. So of course it started with my channel, which is RialbbeTV. Okay, let's go to the VLC. Okay. No, it is translate to English, please. I'm not Thai. Yes, I'm here in Thailand. VLC Multimedia Player. Actually, it is videolan.org or VLC. That is the abbreviation. So you have the Windows. You have also the Mac, of course, the Linux, and the Linux Android, because it is running in ARM, so that's why Android is also Linux actually. A modified Gen 2 Linux distro operating system. And at the same time, we also have the iOS for the Mac. So it is simple, fast, and powerful at the same time. That is why it runs in all platform, from Windows, Linux, Mac, Unix, Apple, ISO, Android, Linux, and so on. No spyware, no ads, and no user tracking, because we are using the Linux app. Yes, this is a Linux app. The project was actually invented through the Linux application, but it is just popular at the same time using in Windows. But that is why it is default actually. As you can see, it is default in my application right here. As you can see in my multimedia. And of course, that is why Linux is powerful, reliable. Not kind of powerful, it is powerful. So I'll tell you about this application next time, especially Mix, OBS, Kdenlive, Handbrake, Audacity, simple screen recorder, converter. At the same time, if you want to listen to your favorite music, Spotify is there. Yes, we have default reduce microphone noise on our Linux. So yeah, it is powerful, and there is no spyware, no adware, no tracking, because this is Linux, and we don't need to to spy on the user, because it is an application, not an ad tool. So you have also donation right here, dollar or in euros. You just click donate. So let's go to its FOSS. So if you have some information that you wanted to know about VLC Multimedia Player on your Linux, never mind the Ubuntu, because this is for the Ubuntu, but it's still the same. Ubuntu a little bit like, yes, they say it is for beginners, but For me, no. It is hard, okay? It is hard. A little bit like it's a little bit for advanced. So if you want to use Ubuntu, well, you have the tutorial right here. That is why they have the tutorial. But if you're using big Linux, based on Manjaro and Arch, it is super easy. No need to do something else. Because in Ubuntu, you have to do the terminal thing. Even sometimes installing. So that is why it is a little bit like even updating. Yeah, a little bit like hard because you need to go to the application to update. But here in Big Linux, we don't need. It's just basically it will be popping up right here and then notification. See, your system is up to date. And then if you want, just open that one. And then click update. It will tell you if it is up to date or not. You can also refresh if you are confused or in doubt. So let's wait to reach 100%. So it is up to date. Even we refresh it. Kind of cool, right? So let's close this one. And that's, well, that's why not recommended, okay, especially the developer version because it's only for the dev. But if you're kind of a little bit like explorer, you can use the dev version, but you need to be aware that it will be using the terminal. So that's why I stay away from Ubuntu for now, because you need the terminal and I don't have the patience, especially if I'm working. Like I have several jobs to fill in. Of course, I need the easiest and reliable rolling release that I will not be always looking for the latest and installing the OS distro. So I prefer this one, not the LTS, because the LTS, yes, it will take like several years to reinstall and to change your operating system distro. But in Big Linux, no, you don't need to reinstall. It's just up to date, giving you the latest version. And they will ask you. That's why this in our notification area, it always inform you that your system is up to date. It is rolling release. So that's it for now for our Linux app. Catch another episode of Linux Apps next time. And of course, if you have some questions, doubts, feel free to write it in the comments down below. This is Blair, your science teacher. Bye for now and see you in the next episode. And remember that science means knowing. That's why science is cool. Ciao.